Like I said, I'll say it every single day. This is what I want the channel to be for. I want the channel to be for these conversations, a place for you guys to come and talk out whatever you're trying to talk out, because whether or not you ever meet me or care about meeting me or care about my opinion or anything, it's the fact that you can get the honest truth from myself and other people that are like-minded, that it doesn't even matter what we actually say. You can walk away and be like, I don't care about any of that. Or you can actually pour your heart out for real, or try and go through some stuff for real without being judged as well too. That's what I want the channel to be. I think I'll become a villain with her. You don't have to be a villain, bro. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying you gotta be rude about it or mean about it. I'm just saying this is how it's gonna be. This is where I'm at in life. If you don't agree with this, then that's fine. That's it. It doesn't have to be an argument. It doesn't have to be a threat. It doesn't have to be a fight. It's just, this is where I'm at. And trust me, if she actually cares and likes you, she will smarten the fuck up immediately, because now there's actually a potential of her losing you. If she likes your friend, then she's for the streets, bro. If it's that simple, like, I don't know. I feel like this is unfortunate that you're kind of getting caught up in the rose-colored glasses of the what it could be. Realistically, if that's even a potential, then you gotta either call her out, and if she says, yo, here's the thing, you can call her out, and it's totally fine to do. Don't think that you're not allowed to say something, because if you just say nothing, then she kind of, like I've said in the past, and the other kid doesn't fucking listen. It's like, if you just take the timeline where you say nothing, and she kind of just drifts away, and you're trying to make it work, but she's not really trying at all. And all this time she's building something up with your friend. When the time comes from her to go from you to him, she feels zero pain, because she's now fallen out of love or out of interest with you, and is instantly rescued by somebody else. In which case now you're broken off and by yourself, which in my opinion is the fucking worst thing in the world. So instead of having that happen, if you have to bring it up and make it super awkward, be like, I'd rather have it be awkward. Here's the thing, I'd rather have it be awkward. I'd even rather, personally, truthfully, I'd rather have it be awkward and have her get offended and have her break up with me. Because if that's what she does, and like that was a scapegoat for her. You say, oh, I think you like my friend, or you talk to the friend, be like, what's going on with you two, or whatever, and she breaks up with you and immediately goes with him. It's like, okay, well, thank you for saving years of my life and years off my life as well. But if she says no, and she tries to fix it, but she does care about you, then it was still worth doing that. But like I said, don't ever just be that person that's kind of in the corner, standoffish, timid, docile, and just let shit happen to you because you're afraid of hurting her feelings, or you're afraid of getting into an argument. If you're going to be someone who's trying to be the leader of your relationship, then you have to be okay with confrontation. You have to be okay with having those hard conversations and saying, hey, this is how it is. If she doesn't like that, then she's the wrong person. A girl that is truly submissive and loves you and wants to be loyal and faithful and all the things that you want, and you don't have to feel like you're guessing all the time, they will fall in line. If they don't want to, then it's the wrong person. You can't make somebody into who you want them to be. They have to make themselves into that person, or they have to want to be that person. If they don't want to be that person, then it's never going to happen. There's no amount of threats, there's no amount of convincing, there's no amount of bribing, there's no amount of propping somebody up until they decide that they want to change. That can possibly be done. If they don't want to, they will not do it. And if they're only doing it after you've put all this time and effort into them, now they have an expectation and leverage against you to say, if you ever stop treating me a certain way, if you ever stop putting me on a pedestal, if you ever try and have any sort of confrontation, if you ever try and fight me in any sort of way, or go through any of my DMs, or ask me any sort of questions ever, if you ever do any of that stuff, I'm going to leave. And now you're ultra fucked. So you never want to let that happen. I will say this too. The reason why I'm saying this as much as I am is not because I want you to break up with this person, but because I want you to protect yourself. I've seen way too many people, including myself, be in a situation like you where it's like, I'm just going to try and be perfect. And then when you realize that you've done everything perfect, you didn't do anything wrong as far as fighting or cheating or backstabbing or withholding money or caring about them a certain way, and they still fucking leave or cheat on you or whatever it might be. It's like, this could have all been negated, and I could have protected myself if I just stood up for myself and said, here's the line in the sand. Are you on my side or are you on the other side? And if they choose the other side, it just makes it fast. It's a sorting process for yourself versus being trapped in a world where it's like, if I'm not willing to have these arguments, now I'm going to suffer forever, or wait until she decides to change her mind. And yeah, Wizard, you have no idea, bro. All you guys have no idea. Trust me. But trust me, Wizard, whether or not I've been through it or not, it's not really the point. The point is that I've seen it enough, and I have been through it. I have been through these situations as well, where it feels like the answer is be nicer, be better, help more, support more, give more of yourself, until there's nothing left to give. And a lot of guys do that. And it's unfortunately not the right thing to do. I'm not saying be a terrible person, but just say you have a standard, like the girl has a standard. Why can't you have a standard? One of your standards is tell me what's going on. You're not asking her for money. You're not asking her to take care of you. You're not asking her to support you or your family while you can sit on the couch and do fucking nothing. You're not asking for any of that shit. You're looking for transparency, loyalty, and being faithful. That's it. And if she can't do that, then that's the wrong person. It's how it is. It's like the age of the person doesn't even matter in that regard. She could be 22 and perfect. She could be 35 and not perfect. Let's just say that. She's all up in her masculinity as far as being disagreeable and shady and wants to fight with you or keep things like away from you or try to control you in a certain way because, I don't know, she has a complex of some sort. And this is hypothetical, I'm just saying. It's not even like an age thing, but it's a person thing. It's a sorting process. You have to be very, very aware of for yourself to say, I can't get overly attached to this person's looks, and I can't get over attached to the way that they make me feel, and when we're cuddling, and when they text me in the morning, and all this shit. Because guess what? Any girl can do that. Any girl can do that. That's not hard to do. That's like the bare minimum, easiest shit in the world, bro. What's hard for women to do is be transparent, is be okay with being wrong, is be loyal, is be okay with getting corrected, not yelled at, but corrected by their man if they're actually acting crazy or not giving you transparency. If a girl can do that, then that's a girl you could possibly marry. That's a girl you could actually take seriously. But if she's not going to do that and she wants to play games by any means, by any stretch, and she's not going to even allow you to have the conversation because either you're scared to have it because you don't want to fight, or she's going to shut it down because she's overly aggressive or dominant or assertive, then it's not the right person. It's just not. And that's the thing too, like with your friend, if there truly is some shit going on, there's two things. You could say, number one, your friend's not really your friend in that regard. Guys should not be trying to take each other's girls at all. They might want to reevaluate that entire situation, obviously, which is a pain. But also, her and him think that they're just friends, or she thinks that they're just friends. They're obviously not. And we don't have to even get down into that whole situation. If there's any sort of potentially slightest inkling of a potential chance that they could be a thing in the eyes of the guy, then you're gonna try and go for it. And I'll say this too, bro. I'm not sure how much you've worked on yourself as far as building up your own skills or becoming confident in your ability to try and find somebody else. If you have to compete for a woman, you're better off not doing it, bro. I'm gonna be honest. Not because you can't compete or you will lose or anything like that, because it's an incredible waste of effort and time. And on top of that as well, is if she somehow picks you from a perspective of being competed for, there's very, very, very high chances that she's going to also be put in situations in the future where she's going to try and make you compete. If you don't want to compete in the future, then she'll just leave. And it sounds very cut and dry or even ruthless, but that's the truth. You don't want to put yourself in that position if you don't have to. This is what I was trying to say to that guy from before, who I think is gone at this point, but you guys had stayed, is that if you build yourself up, you put yourself in a position that you're a high value man, whatever that means for yourself, whether you have confidence, you have connections, you have money, you're in shape, whatever it is. If you do that stuff first while you're young, then situations like this can't happen to you. Because if you had everything going on for yourself and she still wants to leave, you wouldn't even be second guessing if you're okay with that. You'd be like, oh, okay, goodbye. If you want to leave, this makes it easier for me. If that's what she wants to do, then that's what it is. And I've talked about this as well. If it's just a girl that you're seeing, then you can have that attitude. If it's a girl that you're looking to make your wife, and you're like engaged or anything like that, then it can be a different conversation. But as far as putting all your time, your heart, and investment into somebody who's kind of just on the edge of your life, it's just not worth doing to yourself. This is the first girl I took a risk with her to get out of my comfort zone. And that's the thing too, bro. Unfortunately, you're gonna have to Actually, you don't have to, but unfortunately you are going to get experience that you don't want. What I mean by that, well, actually here's the thing, I'll even say this. If this is the first girl you've ever done this with, you should be setting the record straight, like I said before, because you will be shocked on how she either turns around or breaks it off. If you're afraid of having it broken off, like I said, it turns into a confidence thing for yourself. You should be building up your confidence so that if you have to go and get a new girlfriend or find someone else to talk to or meet new people, it's not the end of the world. It's not the hardest thing in the world to do. It's like, I could never approach a girl. I could never approach someone to become a friend or get into a new friend circle. I could never do this. So I have to stay with this girl because thank the Lord, it kind of just worked out. So I'm going to stay quiet and I'm going to stay complicit or compliant so that she never leaves. You don't want to be in that situation. It's one of those things I've even had to do for myself too in the last several years at this point, as far as becoming more and more confident, being willing to talk to people, try to create friendships or relationships with complete strangers. It can be scary to do, and you can fuck it up a lot. But just like anything else in life, the more you do it, the better you get at it. If you've not talked to a different girl or made friends with somebody for a very long time, and even for myself, it's been basically since college where I've actually had to make friends in real life. Making friends over the internet is not hard. We can talk about Smash, we can talk about, I don't know, YouTube or any gaming stuff, and it's totally fine. Also, I also have the upper hand with regards to making friends in this industry as far as making friends with you guys, because you guys get to see me all the time when you have an idea of what I'm like, and you get to talk to me as if we're already friends. So I get that. The dynamic of meeting a complete random stranger at the grocery store or at the gym or something like that, it's like I have no idea what this person likes, I have no idea what they're interested in, and they could already be in a relationship, they could be married, they could have kids, they could be gay, they could be straight. I don't know any of this thing. I don't know anything. So it's very terrifying in that regard for yourself if you're like, I don't know if I could do this again, because I got lucky almost with how this worked out with this girl. And if it really is the first girl that you've ever been with, and this is how you start to mold yourself into the person that is terrified of some sort of confrontation with her, whether or not she knows it really or verbalizes it, she can sense it to say, I got this guy. If I feel like throwing a fit because I can, he'll never leave. When I feel like I need something, so I'm going to act a certain way to be nice so that he takes care of me, I can do that too, because I know I have this guy. Which, it sounds ruthless once again. I'm not saying you got to play games with her, because realistically in the world that we live in, I wish that we didn't have to do that at all. I would way rather be able to just love somebody forever and not have to play any sort of games ever, or ever have to lay down the law, because the law is just understood. Be faithful, be loyal. That's it. Be transparent. That's basically it. But unfortunately, that's not how it is. With yourself, if this, like you said, this is your first serious girl that you're talking to, or a girlfriend. If it is the first one that is in fact serious, you still have to treat it not like it doesn't matter. Not like, I wouldn't say treat it like it doesn't matter, but you do have to treat it in a way where it's like it's okay if it ends, because you have yourself, which is huge. If you have yourself and you've built yourself up, like I said, then you can't. A girl walking out of your life will not destroy you. If you don't feel like you have yourself, if you don't feel like you don't have confidence, you don't have anything to offer somebody else to try and start all over again, it's going to be complete and utter devastation if and when things go poorly. I think my problem is I'm too kind with her. She felt bored. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. As far as you being too kind with her, it's exactly that. It's like you're going into actual boyfriend mode or almost husband mode, where it's like the only way to make things go well for her with you is if you do everything perfectly. Ask yourself, how come she can act however she wants and she can pull away if she wants to, but I can't? How come if the girl is upset, the relationship will end, but if I'm upset, I have to fix it? There's no possible chance that I can just walk away. If that dynamic is the case, which it is in the case of a lot of guys when they're young, that's how the guys always get hurt. And that's I'm not saying you gotta look at her phone, but I'm sure it's like if she's talking to your friend, or if she's talking to guys on Instagram, or if it's just random people that are hitting her up, wherever it might be, she has options, which makes her feel like she has leverage to act how she wants, because if you don't act accordingly, she'll just leave. And she's never gonna say that. It's an unwritten rule or unwritten law of relationships where that's just how it is. So how do you have that not happen to yourself? I'm not saying you have to have tons of options and girls hitting you up all the time, but you have to carry yourself in a way that if you were single, you could make it happen very easily. A lot of guys don't do that shit. They don't do that shit because it's very hard to do as a guy. Just being a good looking guy doesn't really do a whole lot for you. Unfortunately, you kind of have to be the whole package, and it takes a very long time for people to get to that level when they are in their late 20s or early 30s and they finally get their shit together. And unfortunately, in that time, maybe you're not yourself specifically, but many people will have had girls come through their life, love them for a little bit, and then leave. I'm not saying it has to always be a disaster of a breakup, but that's typically what happens. More often than not, the guys get dropped. The guys are the ones that are in the gym and working out their hardest, or trying to reevaluate their entire life, or try to take the path of becoming a man to become something that a girl would actually want and take seriously. But unfortunately, it takes an incredibly long time to either realize that or actually pull it off. My advice to you at this point is, if you are in that situation and you don't know what she's thinking, whether or not you're actually going to make a move to make things better or worse, just start working on yourself. And you being 27, that's basically the age that I started doing the same thing. Whether it was starting Meta, Smash, or whether it was becoming much more serious with my health or my ability to hold conversations or become a businessman or do meetings with companies like Metafy or even Panda at one point. A lot of these things that I would have been very terrified to do with regards to knocking on doors, so to speak, to try and create some sort of wealth or status for myself and become a professional as a human being. I don't mean a professional boyfriend. I just mean a professional as a human being, so that I am able to conduct myself in higher pressure situations and not crumble or become shy or become timid or scared to go after the things that I want to do. Even in the face of my YouTube channel crumbling around me every single day as I lose hundreds of subs every time I upload, I've still grown to a point in life where, for me, I know that I have value within myself. And I've said before, my YouTube channel could go all the way down to 2K subs and go down to 0 subs. I know that I have value. So if my YouTube channel disappears, I'm not going to say it won't hurt, but I am going to say it doesn't matter. So I can start up again, do it somewhere else. Just like starting a new relationship with somebody else all over again. And if you have the skills and the value that I have as far as content creation, whether it's the video editing, the voiceovers, the ability to do a fucking half an hour long monologue at this point without saying and constantly, and also doing all the marketing and the networking that I've done, why would I be scared of my YouTube channel going to 0? It literally means nothing. I'd prefer that it doesn't, of course. But to think that if I lose my YouTube channel, I lose myself and I lose my life and I lose my soul and I lose my entire identity and I don't know what to do with myself, it's just not true. And like I said before, bro, as far as being a kind individual for yourself, there's nothing wrong with being kind, right? There's nothing wrong with being kind or being nice or being helpful or being a protector or provider of any kind. There's nothing wrong with doing that. However, those are qualities and resources that should be reserved for people who have earned them or deserve them or respect you, so that you actually feel like it is worth giving it to them. You can't be kind to everybody. You can't be thoughtful and helpful, give away your resources to everyone, even if it feels good to do in the moment. It's something that you can't do on a grand scale at all times. This is like the world where I'll say this is what simps do. I'm not saying that you're on that level, but a simp will happily go on Twitch or go on YouTube or go on OnlyFans or whatever it is and just give away their life savings just to be kind, so that people will like them back or girls will like them back. I know that's a very extreme difference compared to I know what you're saying. I'm just saying as an example. You can't do that on a global scale as far as give away your money to everybody, but on a more human scale, you can't give away your thoughtfulness and your kindness and your love and your happiness away to everybody. It's just not like that. You'll become drained, you'll become jaded, you'll become I guess a doomer. I guess you'll become a doomer in some regard. And that's not what you want to have happen to yourself. If you are someone who's a very bright and happy soul and you love to be helpful, then that's totally good. I will say that I'm very much so like that still to this day. This is kind of why I'm even giving the advice that I am, because it's a very valuable resource to actually give out to people. So even if you can do it infinitely or it feels like it, it doesn't mean that everyone around you deserves it. It's just how it is. If I like you, that's it. I like you. And that's the thing too, bro, like I was saying with regards to guys are very, very straightforward with how they're programmed in that regard. They're programmed in a way where it's like, hey, this girl's attractive, this girl's interesting, whatever it might be, whatever it is for you that makes them interesting or attractive. I just like you. Can we proceed? Sure. For girls, it's not that simple. I like you, but I have to test you. I like you, but I want to know if you'll like my friends. And by like my friends, I mean like my friends, and try to do some shady shit, or I want to test you as far as, I don't know, if I just start an argument, I want to see how you'll de-escalate it. Even if the argument is not real, I just want to see if you'll scream at me, become abusive, whatever it might be. Or will you de-escalate it as a professional would? Ultimately, what I would like to have happen is have more people come to the stream so they can share stories like this. We can have more conversation like this, because like I said, this is 10,000 times more important than Smash. I still like Smash, but this type of stuff is the stuff that can make or break someone's entire life if they don't understand. Realized I was not ready for a relationship because of my not great mental health and wanted to finish college, so main goal is seeing a therapist and being a better crew leader after as well. Yeah, man, that's another thing that's really big too, is actually admitting that you're not ready for anything in life, as far as ready to move out, ready to start a relationship, ready to do anything that is like actually a leap of faith or a commitment of some sort. So if you feel like you have some growing up to do or some leveling up to do in some regard, then by all means, I 100 billion% support that. It's the same thing like even for myself. It's like I want to do all the things that I want to do in my life first before getting a girlfriend, because at this point in life, I can't say guaranteed that the next person that I date is who I'm going to marry, but I sure as fuck do not want to continue to fuck around for years to come. And the number one way for me to fuck around is to not be able to provide for someone in the way that I want to, because I either don't have my own life sorted out or I don't have enough money to actually do it. Taking your time and putting the foundation down first, the way that you absolutely should, is hands down the right thing to do. If it is seeing a therapist or taking an extra year or whatever soul searching, finding yourself type of thing that you have to do to get some sort of direction in your life, then by all means, I 100% would say to do that. So guys, I have to leave. Thanks for everything. That's the beauty of the internet. I don't have friends I trust, but overall, nice to see you. See, good people still exist. I appreciate you coming through, bro. And like I said, I'll say it every single day. This is what I want the channel to be for. I want the channel to be for these conversations, a place for you guys to come and talk out whatever you're trying to talk out, because whether or not you ever meet me or care about meeting me or care about my opinion or anything, it's the fact that you can get the honest truth from myself and other people that are like-minded, that it doesn't even matter what we actually say. You can walk away and be like, I don't care about any of that. Or you can actually pour your heart out for real or try and go through some stuff for real without being judged as well too. That's what I want the channel to be.